Hey you guys, what's up? It's your girl Pinky, and I'm here in Tacoma, Washington with an amazing guest, awesome comedian, actor, hit many stages, my friend, Nate Jackson. Welcome.
Thank you for having
me. Thank you for being here. It's literally an honor to have you on Lapinkky the show. You'll be our first comedian.
Yeah, the first of many. What's up, y'all? Come through the show.
You are a Washington native, correct?
Yes.
I saw Lacey, Washington. Is that a part of Tacoma or?
No, Lacey's like 20 minutes south of here.
South of Tacoma, okay.
That's what Lacey people say. Tacoma people say it's a mob. It's
a mob.
It's 20 minutes.
Oh, does that mean like a far travel? Like,
yep.
Oh, that's the new slang. I'm not up on the new slang.
What do y'all say in Dallas when it's far?
I don't know. What do we say?
Y'all don't, because y'all don't think anything's
far. Far as fuck. Far than a hoe. Like, I don't know.
Far than a hoe.
Yeah, it's like a unit of measure. Than a hoe. Like,
than a hoe?
Yeah.
Then a bitch. That's what I said.
Then a bitch. Far than a bitch, so.
So this isn't a clean show?
No, you can say whatever you want to say. This is your platform. Say what you want to say.
Fuck.
That's what you wanted to say, though. But tell us, how was it, coming up in Lacey? Like, is it more rural or, like, was it suburbs? You had it nice out there?
Lacey's is a little bit of everything. To be honest with you, it's like a small city. It's kind of connected to Olympia, which is the state capital, but like we have rich people, there's impoverished areas, we have there's a black church, there's a black community,
But how was it for you though?
I mean, I was raised by two people from the South in a small town in Washington State. It's kind of what it sounds like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I was fully immersed in the black experience with respect to where I was geographically. So, Lacey was dope, man.
Oh, okay. You came out of Lacey, you went to school, and then you came back to Tacoma to start this awesome, super funny club. Why come back?
I mean, this area is home to me. The Pacific Northwest is actually a very dope area. Like, people sleep on how dope it is. Like, I hear people that are from here like, man, we ain't got nothing. I'm like, travel some, and it'll grow on you that this area actually is this is a sweet spot. But yeah, I mean, I was well traveled. I went to Florida Memorial College in Miami, then I went to Washington State University in Pullman, then I graduated from Eastern Washington University in Cheney, and then I pretty much immediately moved to Los Angeles, and I was there for about 4 years, and then I moved back home, and then I stacked and then moved back, and I was there for another 7 years, and then I came back, and that's when we did this. So I've taken my experiences from living in LA twice, or being, living in different places of the United States, or I would say not necessarily but my travels, where I've pretty much been in every major comedy club in this country, other than a few in the far Northeast. And so this is the culmination of a lot of the things I've seen or liked from different experiences that I had, and that's what's here in Tacoma now.
Okay. Bless you.
Yeah.
Bless you. Were your parents business owners? Like, did you learn from them and their work ethic? Or did you have to acquire that on your own?
Yeah, my parents were business owners, small business owners, entrepreneurs. Nobody in my household I've ever seen in my life punch a clock. Like, everybody's always had their own thing, their own entity, their own hustle, their own hours, their own staff. You know what I mean? So whether it's my father who had telecommunications, or my mom who did educational consulting, or my sister who's an author, or my other sister who's an evangelist, minister, and speaker, but everybody's doing their dream and their thing, which afforded me some patience to find mine. And that's good and bad, because you have times when it's like, that's dope that everybody's so independent and making their own money their way. But on the other hand, it's like, there were some years in there where it was like, can somebody have consistent income? You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to hit a lick.
Been there, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And there's other years where everybody was hitting it. You're like, let's go to, So it has an ebb and a flow, and you just got to roll with it all.
For sure. So tell us, you've been everywhere pretty much from what I've seen and done my research on many stages, but where's your favorite place in the world to do comedy?
Here, Tacoma, Washington. If it's not here, a couple of other places I like. I like Hollywood, Laugh Factory, Comedy Store, and the Improv down there. I like those a lot. I like the comedy scene in Phoenix. Major market. I don't know why Phoenix doesn't get the love that it deserves, but Phoenix is not messing around. They got clubs in Phoenix and Mesa and Scottsdale. There's like 6 or 7 comedy clubs, full-time comedy clubs in Phoenix, and the people to support them all. One of the places where kind of is always something to do. Then I like the support that the people show in DC, because they just come out and it's like a family reunion, even though it's not your blood. And
right.
then I like the, we call it patience, or I don't know what to quantify it as, but Chicago, the city of Chicago has had so many great storytelling comedians and comedians that can take you on a journey on stage, that they have an appetite for comedy, and they'll be patient and wait on a thing to be developed. Whereas Atlanta is a great comedy city too, but you gotta come on, you gotta come with it. Everybody's a star here. We're all stars.
Right, and it's very fast paced.
Yeah, I need another joke. But Chicago's like, everybody just relax and let's listen to what is happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why Chicago is an amazing. You look at where the majority of comics come from. Like, the most come out of DC, and I think the second city that's put the most comics, up on the board, with some real bread is Chicago. So it's a good look.
So top is Tacoma.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, the vibe that you feel when you do comedy here in Tacoma at home.
The vibe that I feel?
Yeah.
I feel the love, support, and the joy that the people need. This is a city of industry, meaning people work hard here.
Right.
They need to release, they need a laugh, and so it's dope to see it take place and actually not just be, oh, I told a joke or two. Like, to see at the end of the night that the people actually were uplifted in a way. Mm-hmm. That's a dope thing to see. As far as the vibe that I'm trying to build here, I'm trying to build a vibe of inclusion for all, for everybody. I want all races to come in, just because laughter is universal. I want them to come in and laugh. I want this to be, it's got to be lit. If it ain't, the music ain't right, the jokes ain't hitting how it's supposed to hit, or the drinks ain't quite, then something's off. But on a good night, the laughs are big, the drinks are strong, the music's slapping, the people are having fun, and it's a whole thing. Whether you even know the comics or not,
right.
You walk to the car after like, yo, that shit was cool.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
That's dope. I saw like a little comment somewhere that's like, in between comedians, you're like cleaning tables and you're like making sure everyone's straight. Yeah. Okay. So like, tell us a little bit about your activeness here at the club. Aside from just being on stage, like, how do you?
Well, no, I'm acting. I'm doing everything a business owner would do. But me getting on stage is the caveat, because how many business owners do what they sell? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of cool because you can see like a restaurateur where like the head chef is the one that owns it, so they get to cook and they get to run their business. Like, that's kind of it's a niche, and it's dope. But in comedy, you don't see that a lot. There's only been a few comics to open a club. I'm not gonna not go up. Like,
why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I have thoughts and things I want to share on stage, and I'm funny, so it helps build the brand, So we have an abundance of comments, and people are like, "Yo, you were so funny. When are you headlining? And when are you?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, just come back. If I can't offer you anything, I know the host. If I'm hosting, it's already gonna be vibey.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? But then the fact that I'm bringing nationally touring acts and guys that are savages, guys, girls, and other that are just funny, super funny. I think that all goes together and makes what, little nice little entertainment cupcake.
Definitely. So how would you describe transitioning from, just writing your own, I guess these are, what do you call, comedic scripts, to going to an actual scripted television show that you are now a major part of on NBC, Young Rock, I believe it's called. How would you transition to, you know, your own freedom of saying what you want to say, and now you're reading a script and you got to study it? Like, how's that transition been for you?
That was a dope segue you did there. Say that first. If you're watching this show and you're wondering, is this show lit? When the host does stuff like that, the show's worth your time. But I'll say it's two different muscles, right? Like if stand-up comedy is, you know, arm day, then acting is leg day. You need it, you know, all of that makes the body that we're building work. A set is what a comic does during their allotted time. Some comics stick to their set list, which is jokes they decided on, they predetermined they're going to do. Other comics go up there and just freestyle. That's a lot more rare. And then what I think is the best is a blend of both. So somebody who's freestyling and it seems like they're effortlessly falling in and out of the bits that they were going to tell anyway.
Right. That's
what I do. When it comes to acting, you can do what's on the paper, but then all you did was say what a writer wrote, right? Now, there's some writers where that is enough, that's sufficient. But if you're gonna bring your essence to a character and show why you're different than any other actor that could have done it, you need to do what's on the paper and you need to do what's not on the paper, like what's in the white area and in that space. And stand-up, working that muscle helps. It's just like I said, it's an arm day, leg day, right? And anyone who works out knows the more you're in the gym working arms and just being active and all that, it's gonna affect your entire body.
Right.
So, yeah, not just that. So, if one hand washes the other, in a sense, even though they're different hands.
Okay, I got you. That was good. Tell me a little bit about working with the other actors on the show of Young Rock. Like, how do you become a part of that team versus, you know, usually you're by yourself on stage? How would you become a part of that team?
I mean, they booked me.
They booked you, so you like, I'm here, I'm doing it.
I did what I needed to do audition-wise. I booked the role, and I showed up and was ready and prepared to answer the call, you know. And, you know, you start doing table reads, and, you know, everybody's eating dinners, or we're all kind of hanging out, building rapport, and, you know, we're kind of breaking the ice. So then by the time you're done filming, for something like a network, you've spent a considerable amount of time with these people. Like, we have lifelong bonds now because of what it was. And there's 2 seasons, and the first season we filmed, well, both seasons were filmed primarily in Australia. So I had to go to Australia for 3 full months to film the first season. Then the second season, my scenes were more satellite, so I was able to go to LA and use green screen at the studio, and then I was added to what was filmed in Australia. For the third season, or however many more, we'll see what they do or how they want to do it. But the reason for going to Australia to shoot is because COVID was going on, and Australia had 0 COVID cases. And so they took the whole production over there and basically created a bubble, and we had a ball. So
I bet.
Yeah.
No restrictions, no COVID, no.
I mean, we had to quarantine. We were definitely.
But you guys could stay with each other because everyone was like cleared to be.
It was more like, welcome to the country. No one's allowed in here. You guys are special. The army will be in the hallway. Stay in your room.
Oh,
like
no.
that for 14 days. And then when that
Stay
time was up, and then when that time was up, they were like, you're free to go.
Okay.
And then it was wide open. So I'm looking at Instagram and Facebook and social media where people are like, yo, it's a wrap, we can't do nothing in the States, it's shut down. And there's, you know, 6,000 people in a club kicking it over there. Yeah. It was a lot. So, but that brings you close. Like, you take people from all over the world, a lot of people from the States, people from the the Netherlands, from Samoa, from Hawaii, we were from everywhere. Put us all in the same production, which means we eat meals together, we are social together, we're kicking, like everyone's kicking, you know what I mean? And then during a pandemic, it's like you're encouraged to only fuck with each other, because as soon as you're like out with outsiders and they fuck around and sneeze on your ass, You come back, you fuck up the whole production. Nobody wanted to be that person.
At all.
So it was like, let's
everybody
just
got a
stay
family
together. Yeah.
Everybody got somewhere to come home to.
Yeah, so we got real close. You know, eating. I was even like fishing and all kind of. We were doing a lot of stuff.
You fish for your own food?
No. I fish for recreation.
Just for the fun of it.
Yeah, I mean, but we were out there. It was just like, what can we do? What, you know, I ain't never caught an Australian fish. Let's do that.
Definitely, you gotta do.
Gotta mix it up.
Well, you spoke about the pandemic. Tell us, how did the pandemic? I can't even say the word. How did the pandemic affect your club, your Super Comedy Club, your Super Funny Comedy Club, everything you're doing?
It was, for lack of better words or worse words, devastating. We took almost a year and 5 months of building it out, like every day. This entire space was just a concrete slab with a hollowed out ceiling. The only thing that was here was these big trusses that you see right in the span of the room. There's no lights, no carpet, no walls, nothing at all. And no bar, that whole wall wasn't there. The upstairs didn't exist. The bathrooms weren't there. There was nothing.
Right.
And so we took a year and a half to build out. And then we opened a year ago on July 9th through the 11th. That was our grand opening weekend. And it's crazy for multiple reasons. One, there was no COVID when we broke ground and started doing this. So as we're building with optimism to when we're open, we're watching the news and this thing is coming over from China as fast as it can. I remember the day when I had like 5 work crews going in here and they announced that it was at that retirement home in Everett. And I was like, we're fucked. And then the only reason for the grand opening, the 9th or the 11th, is I was insistent on being like, we have to open. Like, there's no rules yet for what's gonna happen. The governor's made no announcements. Why would we just out of, fear not open?
Definitely. You done came this far, I mean, might as well open up.
Yeah, and so we opened. And the governor did an entertainment ban, and comedy wasn't gonna be in the scope of it. Entertainment being like concerts and football games. And so comedy being a speaking event was kind of in that gray area where like it may be good to go. There was some reporter that went and was digging and trying to figure out what entertainment businesses can and what can't, and then he was all down in Olympia asking questions. So then the governor just made one broad stroke and said, anything that's gathering. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, you ain't having none of that.
Right, so and then we closed for 10 months. And a lot of businesses were able to find help and get some support from the state, federal government, or the city level, and we were able to get a little bit from the city, but when I say a little bit, I mean like it didn't even cover 1 month of rent. We had to pay rent because the first criteria was you needed to be in business for a year.
Oh, okay.
And
we weren't just open up.
Couldn't get the SBA to respect 3 days of doing business. So now we're open. We've been through the periods of having to go 25%, 50%, back to 25%, back to 50%, and then finally at 100. And we've had some of the biggest acts in the country, and it's a whole thing. Like this right here is it's a microcosm that is expanding to a national level.
What is that your end goal? To just have multiple clubs in multiple cities, states, or do you want this to be like the OG only?
No, I'd like a franchise. Makes perfect sense. It's just about delegation and cookie cutting this process, and it makes sense to expand. As long as you have good people, you can do good work and good things. So, yeah, that.
How do you run this place and headline at other cities and states and keep that up?
Wonderful people.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I also am very particular about what I'm doing in other cities and other states and when and why. What I was texting in between the break on is I had an offer to do a club in Detroit the 8th through the 10th of July. Well, that's our 1-year anniversary.
Right.
I don't know where I would want to be on earth that day other than here. So I had to say, let's move that to another time. So that's kind of how the juggling happens. I'll book things. I try not to book myself out more than 2 weeks back to back is stressful on the business because it's like who's writing checks, who's interacting with comedians, who's hosting, who like the things that I do that make this work. I can do a lot of that from the road, but the physical stuff that I have to be here for, it doesn't make sense.
Tell us, what projects are you currently working on, and what can we see coming up?
Can we just fully acknowledge that it cut? And we're back.
We definitely
we're on a whole nother. We're on another recording device right now.
Yes.
And that's how dope Pinky is. Like, we're gonna get this done. Come out. So I'm in full support of it. Let's get it. So you can find me on Instagram at Mr. Nate Jackson. That's my personal stuff. You can find the club at Super Funny Comedy Club, or go to superfunnycomedyclub.com. That's pretty much all things. All my irons that are in the fire.
Well, it was amazing having you on the show. I look forward to seeing everything that you have coming out. Do you have any shout outs before we let you go?
Yeah, please, this Christmas, go watch the movie Spirited with Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell, and Octavia Spencer. Your boy's in that.